organized by Amity Law School, Amity University, Patna. Today, we are privileged of hosting a distinguished personality from legal fraternity, Honorable Justice Anjana Mishra ma'am, former Judge, Patna High Court. Justice Anjana Mishra ma'am's journey is a testament to dedication and excellence. She completed her early education at St. Joseph's Convent, Patna, followed by a master's in English and an LLB from Patna University. Her legal career began in September 1986 at the Patna High Court. She built a strong reputation as a legal expert handling civil, criminal, and constitutional matters and advocating for women's representation in public prosecution. Her contributions extended beyond the courtroom. From 1994 to 2004, she served as the secretary of the Rules Committee at the Patna High Court. She was also appointed to the Complaints Committee under the Vishakha Guidelines, reinforcing workplace protections for women. During her tenure as a judge, Honorable Ladyship presided over several notable cases that have left a significant impact in the Indian jurisprudence. One such case was the Chairman Central Selection Board versus Ishika Raj and another 2019, where the court upheld the rights of pregnant women in the recruitment process. Another major ruling was in the case of State of Bihar versus Arun Paswan 2019 concerning administrative law and governance, setting a crucial legal precedent. Apart from her judicial excellence, Honorable Ladyship has been a mentor and guidance for aspiring legal professionals. Now over to my co-host Vaishnavi Anand. Her career is a shining of breaking barriers, setting new benchmarks in the legal profession. She has contributed immensely to legal reforms and gender administration, making the judiciary more inclusive and progressive. Her dedication to justice, fairness, and legal advocacy continues to inspire the next generation of lawyers and judges. We are privileged to have such an esteemed personality among us today. Her life and career are proof that persistence and knowledge can shape the future. And today we are fortunate to hear from her directly. We sincerely thank her for taking the time to be with us and share her invaluable wisdom. I would like to invite Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. Vivekanand Pandey Sir and Honorable Justice Anjana Mishra Ma'am to grace this occasion by lighting the ceremonial lamp, a symbol of knowledge, wisdom, and enlightenment.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Honorable Sir. Now, I would like to invite our Sir and ma'am to felicitate our guest.
By providing an achieve and an challenge. Get you on a stage, please come. Archana is also here. Archana, please come, Archana.
Thank you, Honorable Ma'am. Thank you, Honorable Sir. We have a short video about the journey of the Honorable Ladyship. May I please ask the IT team to please play the video?
In the pursuit of justice and the service of law, few names shine as brightly as Honorable Justice Anjana Mishra, a distinguished jurist, a resolute advocate for fairness, and a beacon of integrity in the Indian judiciary. With an illustrious career spanning decades, Justice Mishra has held several prestigious positions, shaping the course of legal jurisprudence with her wisdom and unwavering commitment. She served as a judge of the Patna High Court, where her judgments reflected a deep sense of justice, clarity, and legal acumen. Beyond the courtroom, she took on the mantle of the chairperson of the Bihar State Law Commission, where she played a pivotal role in legal reforms, ensuring that the law remains a dynamic force, evolving to meet the needs of society. Honorable Justice Mishra also brought her vast expertise to national service as a judicial member of the Armed Forces Tribunal, Principal Bench, New Delhi. An inspiration and a firm believer in the power of justice, Honorable Justice Anjana Mishra continues to leave an indelible mark on the legal landscape of India. Amity University Patna proudly welcomes Honorable Justice Anjana Mishra to its campus.
We are fortunate to have such an esteemed personality with us today. Her experiences and insights will undoubtedly provide valuable guidance to all the aspiring legal present here. Without further ado, please join me in extending a warm welcome to Honorable Justice Mrs. Anjana Mishra, ma'am. We are eager to hear from you and gain from your wealth of knowledge and experience.
Good morning, Honorable Vice Chancellor, enlightened faculty members, and all enthusiastic students who have gathered here together to welcome me and to share the knowledge, the experience, and the companionship I wish to share with all students and faculty members and rest of the university staff. Thanks to you all, I am here today. And for that, I must say that Dr. Pandey was kind enough to save my number, which I used to have when I was an advocate. And he kept in touch with me now and then and finally invited me to this beautiful university. Thank you, Dr. Pandey. It is indeed heartening for me to be present here in this institute of repute which has had a stellar reputation for its academics and its performance in contributing to the growth of education of the state of Bihar and the nation at large. The proud students who have emerged from this august institution have made their mark wherever they have ventured. And I'm sure the students who are present here will be following suit and bringing laurels to this university. Amity University has been at the national level. And when it was established here in Bihar, believe me, I was very excited that this university, which has come to Bihar, will cater to the interests of the children of Bihar and finally bring them on the right track where they will imbibe all the knowledge, the excellence of the education that is being imparted from this institution, and shine wherever they go, like stars in a star-studded night. You see, the fabric of educational excellence emerges from dedication. It is not a one-day process. It is a process which one endeavors to establish by hard work, by dedication, by perseverance, and by jumping over all the odds that come their way. We are going to venture into the judicial world, and judiciary has a rich role to play. Wherever there is a right, from that flows equality. From that equality flows empowerment, be it any gender. So unless and until we are conscious of this very fact, we cannot grow. We will be engulfed by negative forces. We will finally land up nowhere. So the target should be seen clearly. You cannot look sideways, this way or that way, and proceed further. You cannot be walking, looking at the rear view mirror. You have to see ahead. You have to see ahead of your times, be a visionary to really conquer the world and establish yourself in this tough and tumultuous world, I would say, because as we grow with each passing day, things are not becoming simpler. It is becoming complicated. So what is required of us is that we should be alert to our circumstances, bow and duck, and then move ahead. Wherever you see any hindrance, you have to sidestep. Wherever you don't see, go ahead. And your luck should also always be there. You must establish your goals. You must know what you want, and you have to proceed towards that direction, come what. So this is the first motivational statement. I may sound rather didactic, but this is it. I will also tell you one thing. Success is also dependent on the blessings of our Almighty. So, be it whatever religion, Almighty's grace and blessings always matter. That wee little bit of blessings help us take the right decisions. And unless you have that faith, you cannot proceed. If you have faith, you will not doubt. And where there is no doubt, there is always progress. So this is one little thing that I would also say at the very outset of my What else can I say about this institution? It has ventured in most many fields that have become the subject matter of importance in today's world. Your programs are of multiple discipline. They started off, I think, with management, and so it was BBA, journalism, communications, financial services, and markets. Am I correct? Engineering, medical also? No. Not yet. Okay. We have one program, clinical psychology, where we have okay. I see. But not medical. Not yet medical. Okay. But I think the day is not far off when they will also venture into this field. So computer science, literature, which is something very close to my heart, food science, computer science, information technology, the works. And above all, the legal field. I am so excited to see that these young budding future lawyers are here, and they're all so smartly dressed, so enthusiastically, all have a bright shine on their faces. And I'm sure they're all yearning to join the legal world as soon as they come out from here. While some will go into academics, I know, because it shines through their brilliance, Then there are others, we must have a percentage of that also settled. There are others who, I would say, want to go into the corporate world for their lure for money. Be honest. And the third category will venture into litigation. Having been in litigation, I strongly advocate litigation. I can tell you one thing. Your efforts are recognized. That tiny little effort in one case, even if you go into the courtroom, address the court, and take an adjournment, that one little bit is an achievement. Whereas, I'm just comparing. It's for you to decide as per your own wisdom. And I'm sure that all of you have that wisdom within you. You will do it according to your circumstance. You will do it according to the environment that you have been brought up in, and thinking what you would be best for you in the future. And that decision is going to be only yours. It will not be taken by your parents. It will not be taken by any of the faculty members here or your vice chancellor. You have to take that decision yourself. Nevertheless, I will just like to point out a few things that come in with litigation. I went to the courts the very first day, and I did not get a place to sit. So slowly, steadily, I crept up to the front row where all the lawyers were sitting, and I stood on one side and watched how the lawyers used to make their presentations. And I saw that the judges used to sometimes even, heckle them. Sometimes they used to be very generous. But most of the times, they were patient. It was only sometimes when they used to become over suspicious that heckling would occur. Otherwise not. And this made me realize that you have to be persuasive towards the court. You cannot just go and snatch an order from the court. You have to be perfect. Not only the law, you have to be perfect on facts. It should be on your fingertips, ready to give an answer as and when queried. And when you get an order for your client, that sense of satisfaction which shines on a new lawyer, that sense of achievement as senior, designated senior lawyer turns around and moves towards outside the court. That is the achievement, true achievement of a lawyer, of a jurist, and that gives ultimate satisfaction. Ultimate satisfaction. I will tell you, I went to court. I was quite new. And my mother had told me, my mother was also a lawyer. My father was also a lawyer. The father just took me there and left me in the corridors. My mother told me, if anybody asks you to go and take an adjournment, don't do it. Because they are running away from the court and the judge will get angry at you. You'll not be angry with the person who has sent you, but you will face the brunt of the wrath because the judge reads the file and comes. And if he does not, he is not able to do anything on that particular day, there is a sense of annoyance. And there were a percentage of lawyers who used to escape the court by taking adjournments. He said, don't do that, she told me. And then somebody very close to my father said, do it. While I was standing and watching, as I said, I used to go and stand and watch. And then I did it. And right on, I got the same response. Then I was very sad. And my mother told me, I told you so. I told you so. You didn't believe me. And then she said, now that you're disappointed, you must go and argue a case and then see the difference. So till the last day of my advocacy, I was scared, even if it was my own case, I was only scared of one thing, taking an adjournment. That was the worst part of my practice. I never took adjournments. Whatever will be the client's right, let it happen. The best of arguments fail. The worst of them succeed for nothing. I have seen it. But litigation is something which gives you the satisfaction. In the corporate world, you join a law office, you join a law firm, you join any, as a manager, legal manager in any public sector or anything, you are working too hard. But the achievements are being drawn by somebody else. This is the sad part. But if you are patient and persevere and wait, because in this field, it is never too late to learn. Even now, I am learning. I still learn. Somebody in the Supreme Court told me, why didn't you come to court yesterday? I said, I was reading. He said, you're still reading? And laughed at me. I said, yes, I'm still reading. He said, why? I said, because I don't know everything. You really don't know everything in this field. So the more you read, the better it is for you. So study is the answer to success in this legal world. All of you, let me tell you, this word study is with what you earn laurels. You can't, there are no half measures here. You have to study. It's a changing world. Every day the law changes. Sometimes Supreme Court will say this, tomorrow they will say that. Now you have to coordinate both this and that and wait in the circumstances that it was given. So ultimately, what you do wherever you go in this legal world, all law students must know that once you have entered this business, you have to study. So study is the answer to everything over here. इसके बिना काम नहीं चलने वाला है, पढ़ाई तो है ही। ये तो हम इस प्रोफेशन में आ गए, but what really happened was when I was doing my BA and my MA, I used to, when will all this study end? And then by option, I came into this field. It wasn't that because I could not go anywhere else. I was the only person in my family who joined the legal profession. All my other brothers and sisters went in for becoming a doctor, engineer, this and that. And myself, I opted for this because I loved it right from day one when I used to tie my father's band around my neck and sit on his, clamber onto his chair and make a mock reading of the All India Reporter. That time. So it was at the back of my mind, and I did English literature, I did MA in linguistics, and then I opted for this. But to my horror, I realized that it is only study that I have let myself in. And we are still studying. Every day we read. One case that comes from the Patna High Court to the Supreme Court, again I have to read. Again I have to study upon the law, which happened. If it's a civil matter, it's still worse. Criminal, you can pin down on the basis of evidence. But the civil law is such. But I cannot tell you how interesting civil law is. And there are very few civil lawyers these days, good civil lawyers. If you master your CPC, you are bound to succeed in any field. सिविल वाले क्या करके क्रिमिनल लॉ में बेल कर लेंगे, अपील कर लेंगे, वॉशिंग कर लेंगे, कुछ भी कर लेंगे. क्रिमिनल वाले सिविल को बहुत पढ़ना पड़ता है. Constitutional one can do also anything. The person who has mastered the constitution can do anything. But the criminal lawyers, those who have been practicing on the criminal line, that is slightly difficult for them to venture into the civil world. It is tough, it is intricate, it is cliquish also, I would say. Every little move that is made in a civil suit matters. The effect of it is generated till the end in the appeal, in the subsequent appeals before the Supreme Court. Every little move. So civil law, be very, very careful in knowing your civil law. And this is the place you will really learn it. The university, because the intricacies which have been mastered by your faculty members and are being showered on you, I will say showered, it's a blessing on you that you are learning from them. And that, as you venture into the field, you will be able to apply. As soon as you will get a set of papers, you will know what is wrong in it, how the judge has proceeded. You will immediately catch the nick. Otherwise, if you do not know your civil law, you cannot. Now, coming to criminal proceedings, I will tell you what. The FIR, the initial complaint, is like your first, baby class report card. You have to read what you got this, what you got. And I will tell you how I learned my criminal law. I had learned a little bit of drafting from my father because he used to give us dictations in the late night when we were sitting at home after some examination or something. He used to call us and say, come take dictations. So I learned how to draft a civil revision application, a writ application. I learned all that. But criminal, I had not learned anything, nothing. I learned that from my mother. She was very good at it. But it was painful learning from her. She used to literally make me cry. One FIR, she made me read at least 12 times. 12 times, will you believe it? And every time she used to tell me to underline one word, then another word, and then third line, and again in the second line, another word. And then she used to tell me, go. These are the grounds for your bail application. These are the little doubts that are generated in that FIR. So these are the grounds which will help you draft your bail application. हमको बहुत गुस्सा लगता था. Honestly, I'll tell you. Am I so dumb? Am I so? Can I not understand what is being said? हिंदी थोड़ा वीक था क्योंकि कॉन्वेंट बैकग्राउंड से ना हिंदी हम लोग बस पास करने की नियत से पढ़ते थे. Honestly. But she used to make me read over and over and over again. And then I realized later on how it has helped me. And that was the secret of my success, because I was doing more on the civil side. I did not know criminal law, but when I picked it up finally, that was the, क्या कहते हैं आप लोग हिंदी में, मूल मंत्र, या yes, wait. That unfortunately I lost both my parents soon after I joined practice, so I was left to hold the baton and carry it forward. So I labored hard. I studied. I used to study till the middle of the night. I argued first appeals, which had been filed by my father, because they come after so many years. And I think as a youngster, I must have been one of the few who had argued a first appeal. 22 days I argued before one Honorable Justice P.K. Sareen. He did not leave me. He made me read every word of the title suit, everything, all the evidence. And that time, early years, it used to be something in Gaithi and all that, which was double Dutch for us. But he used to make me read it. He used to make me read the translation. Told me to make a comparative chart. And that is how I learned. Sometimes when people grill you, it is indeed a blessing. If it's annoys you at that time, but in the long run, you tend to gain out. So that's how I learned my civil and criminal law. These stories I am repeating only to tell you that perseverance and study, these are the two things which will help in the future. All of you students, you're going to venture out into the world, and the more you read, the more you will shine. So what more can I tell you? Oh, yes. Your constitution should be like your Bible. The constitution is the source of all your rights. Whether or not you get a brief on that side, doesn't matter. But all rights, all laws flow from the constitution. Therefore, the first thing you should do is read your constitution like bedtime stories, you know. Read it like a bedtime story. And every day you will discover something new. And by the time you're through, oh, you will be a great achiever. I'm sure you will be a great achiever. So I'll not take you much with all these things. I'll show you a few things in the Constitution. The very first thing is the preamble. One wants to go straight away to the duties and to the rights. But no, I will tell you that you must read your preamble, and I will read it out for you. How inclusive it is. How inclusive and gender sensitive our preamble is. I don't know whether any of you have it with you. No. It says we, W-E, we is the word, keyword. So nothing can succeed without togetherness. Nothing can succeed without togetherness. I was telling you this morning in your chamber just now that it is togetherness, companionship, adhering to each other's feelings, human values. These are things. See, this small little word has so much to say in itself. We, the people, having solemnly resolved to constitute India, no one did it alone. We, the people, did it together, into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. So, worship is also there. We do not exist in isolation. We exist along with development, social, economic, everything. And we also worship. So, we also need the blessings of the Almighty. As I said in the very beginning, equality of status and opportunity. Now, we means men and women altogether, not just man. I'm conscious there is a sizable population of men here. Please remember, we the people, what we the people means. Equality of status and opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation in our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November. So you see how valuable this preamble is. We think कि चलो उसको क्या मतलब है, चलो announce किया है, हो गया. नहीं, there is a lot to be said in that also. So please be conscious of the preamble also before proceeding to Article 14 and 16, which is fundamental rights, which we all claim. We all claim the fundamental rights. We are equal, we are this, we are that, we need employment, we do this. Yes, fundamental rights do matter, because if we are not conscious of our rights, then anybody can take us for a ride. So let us go to the fundamental rights. Here, we start from 12, which is the definition part. Now, 14 is very important for us. 14 says the state shall not deny to any person equality before the law or the equal protection of the laws within the territory of India. So the state is enshrined with the duty of providing protection, equality, rights to everyone who exists within the nation. Then comes 15, prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Place of birth. Now, caste and sex and race, religion, all these have been taken into account. Nothing has been left unsaid. So, how inclusive it is, you can see. They were not ordinary people who made this constitution. They were a bunch of visionaries who cared for the interests of India, who cared for each generation which would come to the country today and tomorrow and thereafter. So how powerful their thinking was, we should realize, we should implement, and we should follow as far as we can do. So everybody has the right to respect another's. Human dignity matters. If I have a right, so does the other one have a right. There is equality clause, which means equal treatment for all. If I need employment, of course, another person also needs employment, and he needs it not because he's of a particular caste, not because he's of a particular place, creed, or is born to some big person. He needs it because he has striven for it. He has learned the ways of the world. He's been educated like me. So he also has his equal right. So, right on the basis of his competence, not because of his sex, not because of his status, not because he is of a particular caste or creed or religion. He is to be treated equally because of his competence. So if that is recognized, then there will be no inherent jealousy, there will be no conflicts, and there will be more peace. There will be less of litigation. So this is one aspect which one must remember. Equality before law. Coming to the next is equal opportunity matters of employment. This is what I have said. You see, from each of these rights flows another. Right to education, right to right to employment. So all these clauses, 14, 15, 16, they are all, interrelated, and they must be realized in its true perspective as the Constitutional Fathers meant it to be. None of us exist in isolation. We all exist together. If somebody is a student of this institution and has gained a good percentage, it is indeed an achievement. But at the same time, if there is another person who has earned similar percentage in another institution, he also has to be respected in the field of employment. And then what happens? We leave it to the wisdom of those who are giving the employment to act in a fair and just manner. It is only when there is injustice that there is challenge. And yes, we must challenge it if there is injustice, because we are not here to tolerate injustice either. We have to. And those who stand for justice must also act for justice. They must also see that injustice is nipped in the bud. No future generation suffers because of injustice. No child of this nation is made and is demoralized before the society, or is sort of made to feel small because he has not had enough money in his pocket to feed the pocket of any other person. So all these things lead to another one thing, that there must be a percentage of people who should rise for injustice, for the injustice meted out to those who are lesser privileged. If injustice is not nipped in the bud, then there is always chaos and problems, are generated. It's like a string reaction, chain reaction. So we must do that also. So there is a duty enshrined on the state also, that is Article 31, am I right? State का जो power है, that is Article 31. So we have the directive, Article 36, sorry. This is not enforceable in a court of law, the directive principles, but the state has been enshrined with the duties. And that is how the laws are made. The duty is cast on the state to make laws which are relevant, which help in the progress of the society, which help in conquering any injustice which is happening. And they say that the fundamental rules of governance are to be laid down by the state, because it is they who will ultimately sort of give the world an impetus to create a congenial society through their lawmaking. Then comes the duties. We have rights, so we also have duties. It is also our duty to see that there is actually 51A is relates to duties. And the most important part of that fundamental duties is that the clause E, come to clause E, which is the reference to renounce practices which are derogatory to women. So there were so many practices, but now, mercifully, because of the consciousness that are coming, because we are all now conscious of gender justice, we are all now conscious that women and men together are moving shoulder to shoulder towards the progress of the nation, that all men are contributing by ensuring that the dignity of women is preserved. But yet, there is so much of injustice. Everywhere we are finding that women are being, sort of tormented in one way or the other. That is not because there is no good in the society. That is because there are negative forces in the society. So what has to be really done is these negative forces have to be humiliated, rejected from the fabric of the society. And once that happens, gender justice itself comes to the fore. There is no need for gender justice once these negative forces are eliminated. So as you work day to day, ensure that there is no partisan behavior towards women, where they are let to live in peace, with dignity, with honor, because they have always contributed to the social development, social economic development of the society. You see, there are so many instances in our country itself. If you take the example of Mother Teresa, she had come from another country, but how much she devoted herself. She was after her death, she was beatified by the Pope. And how much service she rendered to the sufferings of people. So how can you forget the role of women? There were so many freedom fighters, women, who shed all their finery and then they entered the Khadi world, and they fought hand in hand, arm in arm with Gandhiji to help in the freedom struggle movement. So if all these things are just remembered and recollected, we will always honor the women. We will not say that, oh, she's something to be scoffed at. We had a very fantastic, amazing Prime Minister. She was a woman par excellence. The genocide that was occurring in Bangladesh, you remember? I think you were not born also that time. But if you just read up, it was horrific. And how she organized everything with the help of the army to bring peace and in that country. There were so many things she did. She was absolutely fearless. And because she was so, she lost her life. But the humility which she lived is something that you will see if you just venture into one Safdarjung road one day. It is pathetic how people, don't know about such things and say that they were not dedicated to the nation. It is really pathetic. She lived with so little of so her household items and all these things. They are so paltry, very simple, everything. There is not much of, fanfare in that household. When I went there, I was amazed. See, इतना कम सम्मान में Prime Minister रह सकता है. Whatever they had been living with was mostly, I think, official. Because other things that have been left behind is nothing there, not much. दो चार चारपाई हैं, दरी है, उनकी साड़ियां हैं थोड़े से, थोड़े items हैं. It is pathetic to see how people can say that they were living too well and all that. And how she laid her life down for the nation. We have had Kalpana Chawla who went up into space. Imagine the grit that lady must have had. Just imagine. And the brains. Himmat bhi chahiye, brains bhi chahiye. So you have to be very, very cautious of the fact that we live together. Men and women live together. So we must live in dignity. This little word dignity, if you can endow on every woman who is around you, you will yourself feel that you are a person of a different temperament. You are a person standing apart in the society. And that happiness that will be within you is only something which you will feel, not anybody else. So respect for women is something I will all tell you to have. And some of you are brothers, some of you are sons, and some of you will be future husbands. Some are fathers here. This respect for women starts at home alone. It starts with the girl child. It starts with the father giving equal treatment to the girl child. And if you treat your girl child at home well, then you yourself are a person who stands apart like a star in the sky. So this is a small message to you all. How much time do I have? I have a lot to say. Now, I will also tell you to have a small degree of compassion for the animal kingdom. Be the voice of the voiceless. And I do not know whether animal laws are being taught here. Are they being taught here? So, animal laws are something which is a very interesting and relevant subject in today's world. We have seen a lot of human rights activism, we have seen so many things. So, but animal laws, I've seen that having compassion towards the animals. Even a street dog has some amount of, dignity. You can't just chase him and beat him and wallop him on the road because he's on the road. True, it may have been infected with rabies, it may have been something. But if you have fear for rabies. You must see that in your area, they get inoculated. So they do not harm each other, they do not harm others in the area. And for this, there is the Animal Welfare Board. You just get in touch with them and they will help you out. They are getting a lot of funds for that purpose. But then you have to be proactive. You have to see. You can see stray cows on the road. Pehle, I do not know. They used to be, cattle used to be rounded up and taken to some place. But now that is not the scene. There is so much of cattle smuggling also happening. There are horses which are being stolen and sold. So that is state property. So if you read up and you start teaching the children, they will also be conscious. So I think if you are interested, then I can arrange some, animal welfare. There is this lady who is responsible for framing policies. She's an animal rights activist, and she is interested in giving programs. So she can be contacted, and she can give you the children, the students over here, a lecture and teach them something. Because I, along with her, had gone to Bangalore and we had carved out a syllabus for this animal law program. Had gone to Nalsar, I think, in Bangalore. And we started the program over there. So she can help you make the curriculum and the course study. Not going too deep into it, but a broad framework of laws which are relevant in the present context for every person. She is also on Facebook. If you all will go and type Gauri Molekhi. She gives very nice, insights one by one. Sometimes she'll talk about poultry. Sometimes she'll talk about the horses. She had even taken up with the Uttarakhand government those horses which were mules that were being used to carry, pilgrims. So they were taken, and once they became sick, they used to be thrown off the cliff. So she had taken up the matter with the Uttarakhand High Court, and a series of orders were passed when all such animals were rounded up and they were given protection. She takes up these matters. She argues the cases herself also, right up to the Supreme Court. The cattle smuggling, which Indo-Nepal border that happens, they take cattle from the districts of Darbhanga, Katihar, and all these places, and they butcher it and take it cross border. So that is also one thing which she had stopped. And there's a very cruel animal sacrifice going on in Nepal, which happens every 4 years or 5 years, something like that. Gadhimai. That Gadhimai project, she has been trying to stop, and it has diminished a lot. It's an ancient Hindu temple where they take cattle from India and they sacrifice it. Not in hundreds, in thousands and even more. So every year, when the Gadhimai project, Gadhimai jab hone lagta hai, then she becomes active and she rounds up a lot of people. They get the border sealed off in the district of Katihar. That is the trans-border area, from Darbhanga, Katihar, and all those, Araria, those places. Another very important thing is the Immoral Trafficking Act being taught here? No, it is. Okay. So I will advise you to read a judgment which I as a lawyer had started off, but it ended just after I. It is known as Apne Aap Women Worldwide through Tinku Khanna. It was reported sometime in 2014 or 15. I'm not remembering the correct citation. PLJR also. That relates to Immoral Trafficking Act, Prevention of Immoral Trafficking. In that, we had taken up the issue of this women trafficking, which was also happening in that very area, trans-border area, especially in the district of Khagadia. And over there, there was also this intergenerational prostitution happening, where the fathers, brothers, husbands, they were all the pimps. And these girls, the daughters were being rescued, sent to welfare homes. But then again, the father would come and say, she is my daughter, please give her back. So if the father gives an affidavit, daughter has to be given back. Then they used to take the back, and again she would be put into the black hole of prostitution. So it was a vicious circle happening there. So we took this matter up and we got them to be put in KGBs, Kasturba Gandhi Vidyalayas. And we also filed a separate PIL for, upgrading those, because KGB is only up to the 8th standard. So again, like they used to go back home, and again the same story is happening. So we got those KGBs upgraded by a different PIL, and here the AHTUs were, anti-human trafficking units were established in all the districts of Bihar, and in that PIL, women police officers were appointed. So if you read that judgment, you will get all the relief that we got in that case. So either it's Tinku Khanna through Apne Aap Women Worldwide, or it is this. There is the lady who had championed this cause is a lady known as Ruchira Gupta. She is from Forbesganj, but she's a lecturer in the New York University. She keeps coming to India frequently. That lady has written a beautiful book, I Kick and I Fly. You must have seen it. I was here last year and I held in Patna Women's College, and the book was read out over there. It's been selling like hotcakes. I Kick and I Fly. It's the story of a young girl whose mother and brother, they are both fighting hard to protect this girl from being dumped into prostitution by the father, none other than the father. And that woman, for the sake of her daughter, she goes out onto the highway and breaks stones in the construction of the road so that she can educate her daughter. Then there are boys who trouble her so that she can escape from school. And who is that boy? He is the son of the broker who was set up to trouble this girl so that she can flee from the school, and then the father will put her back into it. So there was a vicious cycle within the house, within the school. And then one lady came up who taught that child to protect herself through Kung Fu, martial arts. And that martial arts helped her survive in the school, and thereafter she won prizes in the country. And subsequently, she was sent to the US for a competition, and she won over there also. And when she won and came back with US dollars, the father also accepted her. And then she did not go into prostitution. It is such a beautiful story that I would tell you all to, and it is written in such a lucid way that it is not hard reading. The more I read that book, the happier I feel that how a girl who can kick and fly can survive all in the world. So you see, it is us who makes the world. And us together can help make the place, this world, a better and more beautiful place. So lawyers in the making, I will advise you all to be very alert to your circumstances. Be conscious of any wrong which is happening. Take the bold step of reporting it here, there, wherever you can get help from. And I'm sure with your little bit of contribution, even if it be like the wing of a butterfly, be that butterfly. Be that little butterfly with a little flap of your wing to save the world from misery and to help others to be at peace in life. I have a lot to say, but I will keep saying, and then I think it will be beyond lunchtime also, or perhaps evening. I can share my experiences that as a lady judge, there was also discrimination in the allotment of matters. There was discrimination as a lawyer, taken too easily by the courts. But yet, in a world where there is survival of the fittest, you have to survive. Girls, you must be very, very alert to your circumstances. There are no half measures. There are no excuses which will help you. Because if you want equality, you have to be very firm. You can't seek the aid of excuses to escape your duty. Equality you must get with the same perseverance. You may be having a family life, fine. But you have to manage both. You have to manage. Because if you accept a brief from a person, you are answerable not to that person alone, you are also answerable to God. You are answerable to your conscience, to God. Because agar side sanjog, you will get a wrong order and the man suffers. If he is innocent, he remains in jail, he will cry. And that will be because of you. If any man loses his job, it will be because of you. There are no half measures. I don't care whether you eat your food, but you must see that you have read your brief properly. There is no half measures anywhere, and no excuses which will help you. The money which you have earned will not bear fruit. Be very, very strict to yourself. We have worked that way. Success has not come to us easily. We have striven hard. Any lady who has had a family life and who has reached the bench has worked hard for it. I have also seen Justice Neelu Agrawal, she has worked so hard. I have also seen Justice Anjana Prakash. She has lived in a family, taken care of her in-laws, taken care of her children. And Justice Mridula Mishra, she's another exemplary person. She's another exemplary person. She has taken care of the extended family. Justice Gyansudha Mishra, she's another one. I have also seen Justice Indu Prabha Singh because she was very close to my mother. She has also brought up 3 daughters. It isn't that she did not take care of them. It isn't that any of them was neglected. They all worked very hard. They persevered. They sacrificed their own lives for the sake of others. So please, if you want equality and you want equal treatment, you have to be very, very careful and cautious and know where to step the line and where not. Because if you want dignity, you have to behave with dignity. If you want to be respected, you have to behave with dignity. So I am preaching to you. I feel that बोलेंगे ये लोग बच्चे कि मैडम ने तो बहुत परेशान कर दी क्या. Anyway, I wish you all the best. Please take care of yourselves. Keep supplemented your think tank. The books. You have a nice library, I believe. You have a very nice library. Make use of it. Make use of it. And what advantages you had, we did not have in our times. The internet. The scope for study is wider now. We only had our libraries and limited time to, but you can sit at home and learn a lot. Even if you are at home, you can keep learning. So all the best, students. I wish you all the best. Please stand up. Anytime you need any help, please. I didn't mean to, I said stand up. Stand up for the institution, stand up for the country, stand up for the society. And exactly, exactly. Oh, that was fun. And come to me for any help, anytime. I'm with you. God bless you all. बहुत ज्यादा बोल दिए ना. Interactive session at times.
Greetings to Her Ladyship. I said Palak from BALLB, and my question is, what are the crucial steps do you think are taken for representing women in higher judiciary?
In the higher judiciary, the steps, the percentage quota is already there, fixed by the state. So far as the judiciary is concerned, I am happy to note that almost 50% of youngsters have come into the judiciary by qualifying, and they are all doing very well. It is not on the basis of only reservation, it is because of their merit. So, with time, no steps need to be taken any further. They will themselves climb up by virtue of their merit and their performance.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else?
My question is that in India there is a concept of level playing field. Level playing field.
Hmm.
Do you think that it is actually working on the ground level?
Equal opportunity is being given. Where it is not being given, someone should take up the cause. Because unless and until it is exposed, no corrective measures can be taken. So where do you think there is lack of fair play? Because this is a very generic questions that you have placed before me. So what is your understanding which has made you raise this query?
And it comes from the reservation topic, where equality before law and equal concept of law is working on different levels.
So you see, we have various Supreme Court judgments on this. It all starts from Indira Sahni, and there are other string of judgments which you must read. And so far as the reservation part is concerned, if the Supreme Court says so, it becomes the law of the land. And we have to honor and respect it.
I don't know.
Yes.
Often, that is uncovered and different things. And this situation, I continue to have seen that at least for the last 5 to 6 years, I started this thing. Now, something is that there are more competition that indigenous people are declining. It's quite large. What can you do to make educate people that you need to understand this is your land and you need to work for your own rights? How can we educate now?
The Santhal region is indeed a very backward region. And unfortunately, it is also a neglected region. Santhal Pargana was previously with Bihar. Now it has shifted to Jharkhand area. So there is a need for dedicated NGOs to become active over there. And it is they alone who can go to the ground level and educate, these people. Because they are also having a little bit of the language barrier. So they should first train a couple of people from that very area who know the language and can communicate with them. If there is effective communication, then only can there be substantive education. Want of proper communication limits the scope of education, and thereafter they remain to languish, So to help them out from their misery, there needs to be a very cohesive structure within the NGO, sort of layers of hierarchy within the NGO who will be able to, first, one level needs to be educated, that has to go and communicate, and thereafter there can be progress. So it has to be done in a very planned and coherent manner.
Why is this first batch of MIT University? First batch of MIT University. He first took admission in the PhD program, BA Journalism and Mass Communication, and then came into law. So being communication student and now law student, you should find out what are the various ways through which we can improve the situation in that particular area.
Are you also from that area? Purnia. Achha.
Ladies, my question is, what were the most challenging moments while delivering the judgment in the court?
The most challenging moment while delivering a judgment is to pick up all your fears and your sentiments and your leanings towards particular issue and putting it on a shelf before passing it. You may be having some approach. And then you may be faced with the task of delivering a judgment. That person, there is a very easy way out. You just kick it out of your court by saying, I will not hear it. But to conquer that, it is very difficult. So all fears, sentiments, inhibitions, leanings have to be put up on the shelf before delivering a judgment and concentrating purely on the legal aspect.
Honorable ma'am, you did that quite a number of times in many
Yes.
of your times. Many of them. You should clap for that.
Morning, Chair. My name is Pushpa Rahman. I'm in my third year of BBL. My question is to you. As you have said, the fabric of the society is diverse and complex. So is the tapestry of lawyers. And one of the skills which we have to master as being an advocate or a lawyer is drafting. So what one's the approach should be to learn and master this skill, according to you, from my own? Thank you.
Drafting is the very root of any litigation. If it is not properly drafted, you cannot be able to achieve to communicate what is required. The first thing that you must know is look up the law. Once you have the law and keep it at the back of your mind, you must start arranging all your documents from the dates that the issue generated. And you must arrange all those documents and the effect and what is stated in that document. You must chalk it out on a separate piece of paper, date-wise. Once you set everything in order, then you fit it within the annual of the law that you have studied. So that is what will help you draft any application, be it civil, criminal, constitution, effectively. And the last part of drafting is, as my father used to say, "Mangoge nahi to milega nahi." Okay? So the prayer portion, that should be effectively settled. Effectively stating what relief you want. You have to be very crisp in your prayer portion.
First of all, very warm greetings to the Lordship.
Thank you.
Now, my name is Anjana and I'm currently in the fourth semester of BBL. Now, as you said about litigation as a career, how rewarding and satisfying it is, right? I wanted advice from your experience as to how a first generation lawyer should, start the litigation career or how to build a client network. As we are seeing with time, more and more youth is getting attracted towards this field. And I'm seeing a lot of young lawyers, first generation lawyers, who are trying to, survive or to thrive in this field, but are finding it really difficult to even make a living or earning out of it. So what will be your advice to
That
the
is
first
true. That is true. But to build an effective career in the field of litigation for a first generation lawyer is slightly difficult. That can be done only through your performance. Now, you don't have to become a mason to build it, It's only your intellect, your knowledge of law, and your ability to communicate, because you're in the litigation. you must communicate properly. So these three things are your bricks, your mortar, and your cement for building your career. So far as the income part is concerned, that is indeed a matter of worry. And I think the seniors should pull up their sleeves and be generous towards lawyers. That is something which our ex-Chief Justice of India, Honorable Justice Chandrachud, had been clamoring for, but unfortunately it was not taken note of. Even in Delhi, I have seen that very bright budding lawyers are struggling to make a living. If they are coming from far and wide, they should get assistance. They should at least get a decent amount by way of remuneration for the efforts put in. And it will work as an incentive. They will get more output. But unfortunately, they are being short-sighted. And your concern is genuine. I would not say it is not genuine. It is genuine. But if you come from a good family background, I think your family should support you in the initial years. If they support you, then I think you will, generate your own clientele very soon. You work for one small client, he will recommend you to two. Those two will recommend you to another two. That is how you will build your roads. And I wish all first generation lawyers a lot of, I bless them and I just wish them all the best of luck so that they land in the proper places with good seniors so that they are guided, molded into better future generation lawyers.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your beautiful words and valuable insights. Now, I would like to call Ms. Kalpana to deliver the vote of thanks. Thank you, Ms. Vaishnavi Anand, for giving me this privilege to propose a vote of thanks. Today is a day of immense pride as we had the honor of hosting an enlightening and intellectually enriching guest address by our esteemed chief guest, whose invaluable insight foster profound knowledge, sharing, and collective growth. We are profoundly grateful to Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan sir, Honorable Founder President, for his visionary leadership and unwavering inspiration. Dr. Atul Chauhan sir, Honorable Chancellor, for his steadfast support and dedication to academic excellence. Mr. U. Ramachandran sir, Senior Vice President, Amity Education Group, for his dynamic guidance, driving Amity University to new heights. We extend our sincere appreciation to Professor Dr. Vivekanand Pandey sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Amity University Patna, for his dedicated leadership and commitment to academic growth. A special and heartfelt thanks to our esteemed chief guest, Honorable Justice Mrs. Anjana Mishra, former Judge, High Court of Patna, for gracing us with her presence. Her ladyship's invaluable insight and profound knowledge on exploring the opportunities in law and the path to a successful legal career have greatly enriched our understanding and left a lasting impact on us. We extend our sincere appreciation to Dr. Sushil Kumar Sir, Controller of Examination, for his continuous support and meticulous oversight. Dr. Navneet Yadav Sir, Registrar, Amity University, Patna. Dr. Rajiv Ranjan Sir, Head of Department, Amity Law School, Amity University, Patna. Our gratitude extends to Amity School of Communication for their unwavering support, respected faculty members of Amity Law School, Amity University, a grand success. Admin, IT teams, and ground staff for their seamless coordination, ensuring the event ran smoothly. Finally, I express my deepest gratitude to every member of Ability University Patna for their continuous encouragement and collective spirit. May we continue to build upon this success, aiming higher with unwavering determination and a shared commitment to excellence. Thank you all. Now, I request all of you to kindly get ready for the national anthem.
And they can come behind us.